My name is Sheila Gold. I'm the Assistant Dean of Admissions for the School of Professional Advancement at Tulane University. I'm thrilled that you all are here. I know that this is the middle of a Monday and you all are probably busy. So let me just give you sort of the time commitment. This webinar takes about 20 minutes. We, after the webinar, are going to send you all a follow-up email and you will get my contact information sent to you as well as a recording of this webinar. So if you want to run any of it again, or if you were like, oh, I forgot what we said, you could go ahead and rewatch it. Also, if during the webinar, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat at the bottom of your screen. I'm joined by my colleague, Ann Conlon, and she will be monitoring the chat and answering questions and also helping us move through the slides. So we are thrilled that you all are here. We'll go ahead and get started and talk about our graduate programs. So a little bit about the School of Professional Advancement. Tulane University is made up of 10 different schools, one of which is the School of Professional Advancement. We're actually the third oldest school at the university. The university was founded as the Medical College of Louisiana. Shortly thereafter, the law school was founded. And then right after that, the very first iteration of what we today call the School of Professional Advancement was founded. It has had the same mission since its very founding 130 years ago, and that is to provide a Tulane education to non-traditional students and working adults. So essentially, anybody who isn't that traditional 18 years old, I just graduated from high school, I'm starting college in the fall, anybody who isn't that student could come to the School of Professional Advancement. So many of our students are juggling career and work together while pursuing either a certificate or degree. So just to orient you a little bit, we are located on the Uptown campus. That's Tulane's main campus off of St. Charles Avenue in New Orleans. We are located in the Richardson building, a picture of which is on the top right of these pictures, that orange building. We are on the second floor. So all of those windows, that's where we are. Our student lounge has a big mural that was actually designed and painted by some of our digital design students with the logo "Where You Belong," because that's how we feel about all of our students. Students who find their way to the School of Professional Advancement definitely belong here. We're thrilled that you're here, and we are committed to helping you get your Tulane degree. So, speaking of a Tulane degree, people often ask, like, School of Professional Advancement, working adults, like, do I get a Tulane degree? Of course you do. Your diploma is going to look exactly like this diploma that is on the screen. It says Tulane University, the name of the school which you attended, which is the School of Professional Advancement. It will have your name and it will have the degree that you earned, along with the seal of the university and the signatures of all the administrators. So we like to say that this is a Tulane program with Tulane faculty and you receive a Tulane degree. So keep this diploma in mind because today is the beginning of your journey towards receiving this diploma. Okay, so a little bit about what we'll discuss in the next 15 minutes or so is we're going to talk a little bit about our faculty and our programs, our experience as a student here at the university, how we support you all the way to graduation, and then a little bit about the admissions process. So, what differentiates our faculty from other schools where you may have attended is that all of our faculty are practitioners in the field in which they teach. So, that means that these are actually professionals who do the work and then they come into the classroom and teach you all how to do the work. So, you're not learning from somebody who sort of like does research on an area or who does scholarly writings on an area. You are learning from professionals that are very similar from the people that you will be applying to and getting a job from upon graduation. So for instance, in our public administration program, Ashley Hand is one of our faculty, and her day job is the director of strategic communications for the government of Kansas City. So when she talks to you about public administration and how governments work, It's because she works in a local government. Derek Bose is in our emergency management program, and he is the former chief administrative officer for the Southeast Louisiana Flood Protection Authority. So when he talks to you about how emergencies affect cities and governments in areas of the country, it's because he does this work. Tyra Mitchell teaches in our kinesiology program, and she has her doctorate in physical therapy. She does the work that she teaches you about. And finally, our last example is Ralph Russo, who is the program director for our cyber and IT programs. Ralph spent years of his career at the New York Police Department as a former commanding officer, and he helped after 9/11 them set up their cyber terrorism attack. So or programs. So when he teaches you about cyber and IT, he has done this work professionally and still has all those contacts. All right, so this is, I know you all can read, but I like reading this quote out loud. Amanda Fennell teaches in our cyber and IT program, and she says, as a cybersecurity leader, I feel it's vital to prepare our professionals, that would be you all, through practical experience, which is why I incorporate my day job into my night classes. And that's exactly how our faculty work. They bring all of their knowledge of what they do as a professional, and they bring it to you in the classroom. All right, so there's two different ways that you can get graduate education at the School of Professional Advancement. For those of you who are into getting a master's degree and you want to seek the full master's, you certainly can do that. And for those of you that are like, I'm interested in going back to school, but I'm not sure my time commitment or if I want to take a full master's curriculum, you can get a graduate certificate. A certificate is 4 classes in a very specific concentrated area of expertise. The good news is that all of our graduate certificates actually stack into our master's degrees. So essentially one graduate certificate is a third of a master's degree. So if you seek your graduate certificate and you're like, that wasn't so bad, I think I want to keep going, you're actually a third way of the way towards receiving your master's. So it's easy to sort of keep on the path. So here is a list of the master's degrees that we offer. These are all masters in cybersecurity management, emergency management, homeland security studies, IT management, sports studies. We have a master's in liberal arts, a master's of public administration, a master of teaching, which is for those of you who are interested in being classroom teachers. You get your master's of teaching, and then we have 4 different masters of education degrees: a master of education in leadership, a master of education in learning experience design, a master's of education in special education, and an MED in teaching English learners. An MED is for those of you who are interested in more educational leadership, and maybe you want to be a principal or a dean or like maybe over a region, a learning region, or a school system. So those are the master's degrees that we offer. We, once again, each one of our graduate certificates, if you're interested in just pursuing those, stack in to a master's degree. So if you're interested in starting small and maybe adding on more later, you certainly can pursue that path. So I'm not going to read all of these, but you can see we offer graduate certificates in each area that we offer a master's degree. So each one of the black bullet points is an actual certificate that you can get. And then if you're interested in pursuing the master's in whatever is in the green print, you could do that later if you're interested. Okay, so what makes our learning experience a little bit different? Well, first of all, We tailor our program and our classes to working adults. So we know that many people haven't been in school for a while, or maybe you're coming back to school after, helping raise your children or putting your family through their education. And we also know that you're juggling a lot of other responsibilities, like maybe raising kids or taking care of older parents, as well as pursuing your education. So we try to be as flexible as possible in our student experience to accommodate the lifestyle that you're fitting your education into. We try to make our classes very engaging and interactive. All of our classes at the master's level are online, so you have the flexibility of studying remotely. There are some classes that you do need to call into, very much like the format that we're in right now, but that's infrequent, so you don't have to have a rigid schedule, and you can fit your classwork in according to your schedule. We also try to create very different types of learning experiences so that our students aren't just reading a chapter in a book and maybe writing a paper. So, for instance, one of the ways that we create an interactive experience is that many of our faculty have created assignments that are in the metaverse. So you'll have an interactive assignment where you will actually create a avatar for yourself, and you will enter the metaverse, and you will work your way through and solve a problem in the virtual environment, and then you will turn in your solution to that problem as your assignment for that week. It's interactive, it's engaging, it's meant to mimic real life experiences so that you'll have a much more hands on way to solve problems as opposed to like reading a chapter and writing a paper. Another way that we try to deliver information to students is through podcasts. Many of our faculty will take a weekly lesson and record the lesson. So you can listen to 15 minutes of the lesson on the way to work, 15 minutes on the way back from work, another 20 minutes while you're chopping vegetables for dinner. And that way, especially if you're an auditory learner, it's an easier way to understand the information. And it's just easier than saying, hey, I need to sit down for an hour and read an article and respond to a message board. So we find that our students are active and engaged. There's also small group work, and you have the opportunity to get to know your classmates and also use them as a resource as you're moving through the curriculum. So we also are very committed to supporting our students. One of the things that we think differentiates us from other schools that you may be looking at is we're not just interested in getting students admitted to the university. Once you're here, we want you to be successful. We want you to get that degree that we showed you a few slides earlier. So we wrap students in lots of different support. You have an academic advisor who is here to help you with your choosing your classes. If you're running into an issue in a class and you're like, I'm struggling, or I'm not sure that I can turn in all of my assignments on time, they can help you navigate that. If you have to take a medical leave because something comes up, they can help you navigate that. If you need to drop a class, they can help you navigate that. If you need to get in touch with the writing lab, they can help you navigate that. So you have an academic advisor that follows you all the way through. You also have a faculty advisor, and this is more of a professional mentor. So remember, all of our faculty actually do what they teach. So as you get further through your curriculum, if you're like, "Ooh, I'm getting excited about graduation and applying for a job, can you help me put my resume together? Or do you know anybody in a certain field? Or I really liked this class that you taught and you brought in this speaker. Can you connect me with them so that I can get to meet them and learn about their professional network?" You've got that faculty advisor, and you should use them. They love talking to, I mean, this is why our faculty go into doing what they're doing. They love grooming the next crop of professionals in their field. You also have each other. So you get to know your peers in your class, and you can lean on each other to help create the beginning of your professional network. And then our school has its own career advisor. She is only dedicated to the School of Professional Advancement students. So you don't share her with any other part of Tulane. And she can help you with your LinkedIn page, putting your resume together, if you do have a job interview, if you want to set time with her, she can do a mock interview with you so that you can practice your interview questions so that when you go into your interview, it's not the first time that you're answering questions about your career. So use her as well. But we really have wrapped our students in everything they need to be successful and graduate with that Tulane degree. Next slide, please. So, a little bit about one other thing that we do to help our students move through this process a little bit more quickly. Many of the folks who we have come into our program have been working in the field in which you're about to get your master's for many years. So, meaning you may already be working in IT, or you might already be working in education, or you might be working in physical therapy or kinesiology. You just haven't gotten your master's yet. So if you have some life experience in a field and then you're moving through your curriculum and you find there's a class that you have to take and you're like, I sort of know that information already because I did that professionally for 6 or 7 years, you can go to your advisor and say, look, I already know this information. I don't think I should have to take this class. And they will work with you to get what we call credit for prior learning. And this is a process. You have to produce a portfolio and you're going to maybe have to write like a paper or something, but you work with your advisor to demonstrate that you already have the knowledge, which are the objectives of that class. And if you can show that, you can do that for up to 2 different classes during your master's program, and that will save you money and time towards graduation. So take advantage of that. Don't be shy about asking for credit for prior learning. All right. So a little bit about affordability. So our graduate program is $3,924 per course. Generally, there are 11 classes to complete a graduate degree, 4 classes to complete a certificate. Our MAT is priced a little differently, and some of our graduate certificates are a little bit lower also. So if you're interested in those, that's something to keep in mind. We cap our fees at a very low price. So, something to keep in mind when looking at us versus other schools. Always ask other schools how much their fees are on top of their tuition. We cap our fees at about $150 per semester. So you will not have to pay more than that. So basically, all you're doing is paying tuition with like a tiny little bit of fees on top of it. Other schools may give you a tuition rate, but when you ask about fees, it could almost double the tuition rates. So that is something to keep in mind as you're doing like comparison shopping between schools. With that said, many of our students apply for some sort of financial aid. Definitely fill out your FAFSA form, which is the federal form for financial aid. You can certainly, like I said, get up to 6 hours for credit for prior learning credits, which will also be a savings. And if you're transferring in any credits from a previous master's program, you will receive a $1,500 scholarship as a transfer student. If you register for your first semester by an early registration date, and I'll share those dates in a minute, you'll receive automatically $500 off your first semester. So we try to work with students to chip away here and there on little things. Also, we offer a variety of 20% tuition discounts if you're active duty or a veteran. We offer a 20% discount if you are an alum of Tulane. So if you have a previous degree from this university, if you are active or retired federal, state, or local emergency personnel or law enforcement, if you are a member of PTK, which is the 2-year university honors program, you would know if you were a member of PTK. If you are a current K through 12 teacher, if you work for Louisiana state or local government, or if you are a member of one of our partnership agencies. If you are not sure if you are, if you go to our sopa.tulane.edu, there's a list of our partnership agencies that you can see if your membership will coincide with that. Okay, so a little bit about our application process. Our application is an online application, so it's not paper. It lives on our website, sopa.tulane.edu. There's a big button up at the top that says apply. You're going to go ahead and click that. It's going to ask you if you want to apply to undergraduate or graduate. You will pick graduate and it will open up the application to you. There are several things you're going to need for our graduate application. We're going to need a picture of a current government ID. For most of you, that is just taking a picture of your driver's license and uploading it. We are going to need transcripts from every school where you received college credit. You can send those to us electronically. If you do the electronic process, we get those in about 48 hours. It's the easiest way to do it. Our graduate programs all require a writing sample and a resume. So you will need to fill out those parts. We do not require the GRE or any standardized test. So that is usually very good news for people to hear. And then additionally, there is a $50 application fee. We do waive that fee for anybody who has attended a webinar. So for those of you who are on the webinar, we will waive that fee for you. And if you have already applied and paid that fee, please email me after this and I can refund it. It's a very easy process, so do not be shy about that. I can refund it for you like in 30 seconds. So if you've already applied, please reach out. Okay, and then our last bit of news is these are our application deadlines. We're currently reading applications for the fall semester. That deadline is August 1st, although if you get your application in today, we could go ahead and review it. We do read on a rolling basis, so that means as soon as your application is completed, we will review it. Keep in mind, we do have early enrollment scholarships, so if you apply now, get admitted and register for classes by July 15th, you will get $500 off your first semester. There's no reason not to do that. I would encourage everybody to apply and register by July 15th. The next semester that we are reading applications for is our spring semester. That's our January semester. That application is January 1. However, you can apply now. And if you register for classes by December 1st, you'll get the $500 discount. And then if you're really a planner and you're thinking about applying for next summer, that application deadline is May 1. But if you register by April 25, you will get the $500 discount. So go ahead, apply early, register early, get $500 off that first semester. There's no reason not to. It just makes your life a little bit easier. Okay, so that is really our webinar. We ran 3 minutes over, but that's okay. My contact information is in front of you, sgold@tulane.edu. There's a phone number. I'm not always in front of my phone, but I am usually in front of my email. So definitely email me if you have any questions, and we would be happy to continue talking to you. Once again, let me reiterate, if you've already applied and you need the $50 refunded, please email me after this and I can do that today. So thank you all very much for your time and attention. And I certainly hope that I will be seeing your applications very soon and that we'll be welcoming you as a new student to Tulane very soon. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much.